Ho, 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 and a big Christmas welcome to Steve's Kitchen. I absolutely love Christmas time because it's when I get to have Christmas pudding. I've got one here. I made this on my channel before. The video is up there. Get across. You still have time to make a wonderful homemade Christmas pudding. But the other thing I love are mincemeat, mince pies. Now, why is it called mincemeat? Traditionally, mincemeat was made with meat inside it, and we still actually put suet in there, which is actually a beef fat. You don't have to use the suet. I think because today I'm making a luxury mincemeat, I am going to use suet, but you can leave it out if you prefer fully vegetarian. So come on, let's get on and make the most delicious luxury mincemeat. Now, last year I made a budget mincemeat, which was very simple and just as delicious to make, but this time we're making a luxury one. There's a lot more ingredients going in, so I've put them up on the screen now. Pause now, take a note of everything you'll need, and let's get on and make our luxury mincemeat. Now, in the very simplest of terms, what we're looking for is about 1 kilo or 2 pounds of dried fruits. I'm using these dry tart cherries, about 200 grams and 7 ounces. The same again of beautiful cranberries. Something that I think is really essential are currants. Beautiful black sweet currants like that. Again, 200 grams, 7 ounces. Sultanas. And I've got these soft figs. These are just going to need to be chopped up a little bit before we use them. So in those fruits alone, we've got about 1 kilo. 2 pounds, and a little extra, we're going to use about 100 grams, 3.5 ounces of dried apricots, which I'm just going to chop up, and I'm putting some crystallized ginger, again about 50 grams, that's a couple of ounces of crystallized ginger, and I'm just going to chop that up as well. The last luxury ingredient is about 100 grams or 3.5 ounces of slithered almonds. And this is going to make the most delicious mincemeat with the right spices. We're going to be putting ginger, a little bit of cloves, some fresh cinnamon, and some fresh nutmeg as well. Of course, mincemeat would not be complete without some alcohol in there. I'm using brandy. Look, if you don't want to use alcohol, you could replace this with a little bit of fruit juice. And we are going to be using, as I said before, my suet. We're going to use about 125 grams, 4 ounces of beef suet, and our fruits, 2 oranges, 2 lemons, zest and juice of these 2 fruits. And I've got 3 Granny Smith apples, which we're just going to slice up, and they go in as well. So to start with, let's get all these dried fruits into a mixing bowl. Those beautiful black currants are going in there. I absolutely love currants at Christmas time. The same amount of raisins or sultanas. I'm just going to chop up my figs and my apricots and my ginger there, and then come back and join me. Right, come over here, let me show you what I've done. I've got my apples, the Granny Smiths, they're just diced up into little cubes, and I leave the skin on, by the way. We're just going to pop those in with the rest of the fruit. The figs, diced up, nice and small. That wonderful crystallized ginger. Pop that in there as well. In go the apricots, they're nice and finely diced. Our bowl is getting, you imagine how much sweet mincemeat we're going to be making with this. Now over here, that is the beef suet. It is optional, but I think it gives a wonderful flavor. It looks a little bit like almond meal. We're just going to pour that over the top. Talking of almond meal, I've got my slithered almonds here. Pop those in as well. Now we've got to sweeten this, and I've got 250 grams of soft brown sugar. That works out about 8 ounces. Pop that in there as well, and we are starting to run out of space, which is absolutely perfect because we're very nearly there. Now, over here, I've got all that wonderful zest for my oranges, both of the oranges and 2 lemons. Pop the zest in there. All the juice from the lemons and the oranges, pour that over the top. And now we want to get our spice into there. You want about 4 teaspoons of spice. I'm going to use a teaspoon of cinnamon, probably about 1.5 teaspoons of powdered ginger, about 1/2 teaspoon of mixed cloves, and also I'm going to grind some fresh nutmeg in there as well. Last thing, the brandy, but that's not going in until after we've cooked our mincemeat. Just come down here again, get in there now, and the best you can, coat all this fruit over with the sauce and the juice that's in there. Now, if you really want to do this properly, you've got to get your hands in there and turn all this beautiful fruit over. Now, if that isn't the smell of Christmas, I don't know what is. Ideally, leave this to soak for at least 3 or 4 hours and let the fruit absorb some of those juices, and then come back, I'll show you what to do next. Now, when the fruit has all plumped up and absorbed some of that liquid, take a look at this now. What I'm going to do is give you a couple of options. Either take that fruit, pop it into a big saucepan, a cup of apple juice in there, and just simmer it for about an hour and a half on a very low heat. Or you can do what I do, get your oven on 110 degrees Celsius, that's 225 Fahrenheit. And then what we're going to do is take all of this fruit, pop it into a baking tray like this, flatten it down nice and evenly across the tray, and then we're just going to take some silver foil, seal the top of that, pop that into the oven. You're going to leave it for a couple of hours on that nice low temperature, and this is going to make the most delicious mincemeat. Now, whilst that's on, give this video the thumbs up, get across and make yourself some eggnog or a lovely mince pie smoothie from my channel, and join me back here as soon as this comes out, and the smell in your house is going to be Christmas #1. So there you have it. Now that's been in for a couple of hours. Just pop it down there, get my oven gloves off. Now, if I peel this back, it's probably a little bit warm, not too hot though. See the steam coming out of there now? Now look at that beautiful stewed fruit. Now that's had time for all that fruit to get lovely and soft and caramelized. I just give that a good stir through. Now it's at this point I'm going to add brandy. If you don't want to add brandy into this, you can leave this step out, but really this luxury mincemeat should have. Now I'm going to put about 4 tablespoons of brandy into the mincemeat. You could just eyeball it if you like. Then we're going to mix the brandy through. Now the smell coming off of that is absolutely delicious. So I've mixed the brandy through there. Now, whilst it's nice and hot, I've got some Kilner jars. You could even use regular jam jars and just recycle them. What we want to do is sterilize these with some hot water. Then I'm going to take my sweet mincemeat, or my mincemeat as I would call it, and start to pop it into the jars. And there it is, a beautiful luxury jar of mincemeat. Smells fantastic. It's going to taste delicious. Now, if you join me in the next episode, I'm going to take this mincemeat and make some wonderful mince pies. I hope you give this a try, and please comment down below, share the love, give the thumbs up. And of course, if you want to make a more simple mincemeat, there's plenty of other recipes on my channel. Everybody out there, be good, have a fantastic Christmas. Love to you all, take care, and see you next time. Now I've got my Christmas hat on today, but it's a scorching hot day here in Australia. But the smell of this mincemeat is bringing Christmas on. I'm going to have a little try just to let you know it's very young at the moment, but I bet it still tastes fantastic. Oh, that is Christmas. I'll leave some links up here to some other videos. Please get across and watch them, and comment down below if you make this mincemeat or you make the mince pies. Share across some pictures to me. Share the video out to your friends. Have a fantastic time. See you next time.